Welcome to this week's Outside the Huddle. I'm Robert Giovanetti alongside of Texas Tech head coach Kliff Kingsbury. Coach, we're walking out to the practice field. This is where it all begins this week for you guys for UTEP. But let's look back to last week and think back to your press conference coming out of the game. You talked about, you obviously some things against Sam Houston State you wish you could do better. But let's look back on what are some of the positives you're taking from Saturday?
There were a lot of positives after watching the film. A lot of young guys doing some good things, which was exciting. Jakeem's kickoff return was a huge momentum swing. It's great to get him going. Pat moving around, extending plays, did a great job. Devin Lauderdale starting early, making big plays early in the passing game. So there were a lot of good things that came out of just have to work on finishing the ball game.
Well, and talk about that a little bit, because you mentioned that in the press conference. What do you do? What did you see they weren't doing, rather that you say doesn't allow us to finish?
Yeah, I just think we lost focus. We lost the energy on the sideline. You could just feel it, just kind of get deflated. We're up 59-31, and we just don't close out the game. I had lots of opportunities. Defense probably would have pitched a shutout the second half had we been able to handle our end offensively and finish the deal. And so that's just something you got to work at, you got to practice, and eventually it'll come.
Pat Mahomes, a lot of people talking about his performance Saturday. You, as his quarterback coach, his position coach as well, what did you take away from his Saturday performance?
I liked how he started. He started fast. He wasn't jittery, he wasn't nervous. He was focused. He was locked in early. Did a good job staying in the pocket. When he had to get out, he got out and made plays with his feet. But he's progressing. Ball security was great. We asked him to protect the football, and if we do that, we feel like we'll have a chance in every game.
What is the first thing you look at when you sit down and finally look at the film? What is the first thing when you sat down? What were you interested in seeing from that ballgame?
Really mental mistakes. You try to find out how many mental mistakes there were on each side of the ball, and then effort. Those are the two things you want to see. You want to see max effort, and you want to see a clean game. And so when you first start looking at it, those are the two things that I really try to look at.
Because it's kind of funny, isn't it, that, you guys won. You won handily. There was never really late in the game. There was never any doubt. But sometimes it almost feels like it takes away from some of the enjoyment, right? You only get 12 of these. Do you sometimes, as a coach, you feel like I don't even get time to enjoy these things?
Yeah, I think it goes pretty quick. I try to tell our players, you better enjoy the whole process, the whole moment. You work 8 months to play 12 Saturdays, and so every game you better come out, better give it everything you got. And as coaches, I think we got to stop and smell the roses sometimes too.
All right, so you're out here this week talking about UTEP. What are some of the things that you guys are preparing for?
Having played them last year, they're a very good football team. They're very well coached. They're a big physical team. They like to come right at you. Last year, they were second in the country in time of possession, so they like to hold the ball, have long drives, and so it's going to be a real challenge. Our run defense has got to be stout, and our corners have to hold up and be ready for play action, and they do a good job.
As you look back at last year's game, obviously some things you can work on. You think your guys can take some of those and apply that to Saturday?
I hope so. I hope, first and foremost, they know from last year this is a good football team coming in. They're physical, they're well coached, and they're going to be expecting to win the ball game. And I think that's going to help in our favor as far as preparation goes this week.
All right, 60,000 plus last week, second largest home opener ever here at Texas Tech. We've got a whiteout. We're in whiteout, today, whiteout Saturday against UTEP. So hopefully we'll get a big crowd and get win number 2.
Yeah, the fans were unbelievable to come out in those numbers. It was fabulous. It's awesome for our student athletes to have that type of support, and it means everything to our program.
All right, that's Kliff Kingsbury. I'm Robert Giovanetti. This was Outside the Huddle, brought to you by Southwest Bank.